Hey everyone, springtime's coming, so it's time for at least me to go through my day kit, my go kit, and eventually my full kit, bug out kit I guess, the term everybody uses. What I'm going to do though is break it down because there's so much to go through. So today I'm going to do power systems, or should hit the fan, power down needs, that type of thing. I'm not going to go through what my home has equipped, but suffice it to say, like this winter we had 2 full grid down periods from 2 different blizzards, and I kind of talked about it a little bit in that group. And for those that don't know about the group, it's on MeWe.com. It's called the Survivalist. Feel free to, if you don't know about it, feel free to join us. We talk about survival stuff like this, how-tos, we recommend and review different equipment, teach each other different things about it. In the main group we keep strict to that. Other discussions and stuff can happen in chat, but the main area is solely for teaching people different ways to do different things, showing methods and things that we use for this type stuff. So today I'm just going to do power, or at least in this video I should say, I'm going to do just power needs that you might have to consider, you know, above and beyond your home based stuff. And like I said, I'm not going to go through what we have here for our capability, but I am going to go through what I keep in my kits and my vehicles and around the house just in case. I guess the best way to start off is generating power for, in this type of situation where we're talking kits and stuff, you're not going to generate a lot of constant power. It's just not going to happen. You're more looking to generate periodic power, and especially power for charging things like batteries and, you know, a tablet or you know, the basic essentials, that type of stuff, even using it to start a fire. And I'm going to show you the different methods of doing that, and I'm going to show you the different types of storing that power, and then I'll move into the battery side and actually being able to charge the batteries that you're going to need and want to carry or have around and available. Oh my god, it's snowing again. Wow. This is April 24th. Normally about now is when we're done with snow. This was Wisconsin, central Wisconsin. So, man. It's actually snowing and it's 42 degrees outside. That tells you how cold it is aloft. So it won't stick on the ground, but it's snowing. It snowed pretty good yesterday again. Anyway, I guess I'll start with how I generate my power. And I'm going to take you outside quick first, because I'm going to show you one that all of you, if you have just some basic parts at home that you're not using, or you want, you know, you can spend less money. I'll show you this quick, because we'll do the rest of it in the house. It looks like my panel fell down. One of the things that I use when I have that patch and it doesn't get blown onto the ground is a solar panel that has a built-in inverter, produces enough wattage and amperage to actually charge and even charge or trickle charge a vehicle battery. And what I do is, for power packs, you can spend $300-400 to buy them, or you can spend whatever the cost of a power pack is, trolling motor box is, and make your own. Let's see here, where's the button? Full charge. And what I do is I buy, hopefully I got the camera on this right. What I do is I buy the small trolling motor or even motorcycle batteries. And then I hook them up in serial, and they fit perfectly right into the battery box. Like I said, that panel has an inverter built into it, so I don't have to worry about an inverter. I've got 12-volt plugs on them even, and a full test for battery power, circuit breaker, a 10-amp circuit breaker, the whole 9 yards. You can put those back on so that I don't lose them. And as you can see, you can attach vehicle, whatever you want. You could use it for jumping a vehicle, that type of thing. It took that about 24 hours. These were both by about halfway discharge. I think I need to get my dog to clean up her piles. Jeez, that's what you get for German Shepherd. I think it took about 24 hours to charge back up. I was down to about 50%, and on a really nice bright day last week, it took about 24 hours. Well, not 24 because it's not sunlight in 24, but it took about a day to charge them back with one of those solar panels like that can produce that much power, because it's a nice one. You can get those solar panels anywhere from 15 to 30 bucks or more. If you want it, this one here is 20 watts at, I don't remember what the amperage is. The output is 20 watts, 12 volt. I don't remember what the amperage is on it. I should have looked. But you can get them 30 amp, 50 amp, 100 amp if you want. But of course, you start getting into 30 and higher amperage, or wattage. It's going to start costing you a bit. But for a good 20 watt, which is what that is, I think I paid like 20 bucks, 22 bucks, somewhere around there, and I've had that for a few years now. And I have a couple of them because I use them in the wintertime for trickle charge on the truck, because cold kills batteries. Anyway, so that's an option if you are looking to build yourself a nice power pack, for running anything that you might want to run. You can get a different trolling box that can do 20 amp output. You can get a bigger box and put 3 batteries in it, whatever you're looking for. But what I do is I just keep my eyes open for garage sales and stuff like that, people selling them. Pick them up for 5 bucks or even less. Throw a couple old batteries in them that can still charge, and away I go. Hook them strap into the tractor, or keep one in the back of the truck, and I'm all set. So from there, I'll go into options that you could use to carry. And there's all sorts of different options. There's some that are expensive. Now keep in mind, some of my gear I bought when I was rich, because I was military and I had no family to worry about. My kids were grown, and because I started really young. So my kids, I was 39 when my oldest left the home. Let's see, 39, 19, nope, I would have been 37 when she left home at 18. So yeah, I started young. So after that I'd gotten divorced, and I had money up the wazoo. So some of the stuff you'll see I paid more for, and I'll tell you which ones are. And I still have them to this day. And then some of these other things you might think I paid a lot of money for, and I paid peanuts for them, and they work beautifully. And I can recommend them because I've used them. I use them in my kits, the whole 9 yards. I'll start with the most expensive ones first. You've probably heard of the name Goal Zero. They make all sorts of power packs and solar panels. They came out originally about, let's see, this is 20, I was still at the missile base. I want to say around 2011, 2012 is when they kind of showed up on the scene. But they've got some really good products. Back then, just these panels alone were expensive as hell. And for example, this big one is a 2-panel, hard panel. version. Hopefully I'm getting this in the camera right. And then I've got one of their smaller, one of my connectors. A smaller one, which is also a hard panel, 2 panels. But they work, they do a good job, they're reliable. I can't say anything bad about them except they are expensive. Or at least they were. I haven't bought a Goal Zero one for years now because they were so expensive, and there's a lot of inexpensive versions coming out that are far below what they cost. Thule, knock it off. That's enough. My German Shepherd whining. That's enough. As you can see, they've got a nice little screen. I can hook a she's going to make me go do this, isn't she? Hold on, I'm going to let her out. She can whine outside. You're whining, girl. How come? Normally she's pretty quiet. A German Shepherd, long hair, about 3 years old, combat bite trained. Normally doesn't whine that much, but maybe she's got to go. Anyway, the other dog that's in here is my wife's little one, Staffordshire Terrier. Everybody thinks she's a pit bull, but she's not. They just have a similar shape to them. Anyway. In mine, I keep some extra gear. For example, Goal Zero also made these little power packs, which are actually pretty nice. They're a miniature power pack. They also have the ability to charge other things. They can be charged directly from these solar panels, obviously being the same brand, or other sources. Have a little light in them. What's really nice is you can also, did I turn that off? They come with a little cup that you put in. I think it's this way. Nope, and I would be wrong. This way, and now I can use AAAs. So it's a pretty nice little setup, little strap. You can put it on your vest or whatever, which is what I do. They're nice little units. And it's, I can plug them right back into the solar panel, and I can charge these batteries or charge in any other rechargeable batteries, AAA or AA. A quick, small, nice little power unit. This one can do in good sunlight, by the way, you can recharge in 3 hours with these panels. I'm looking for the output. Okay, yeah, these are 5 volt, 1 amp max output, which is to be expected, obviously. So, and they've got the built-in inverter on them, and that's for, now I wouldn't use the small panel for it, but where'd I put it? There it is. For this module, because I can plug right in. I can plug right in, and I have the right connector. Oh, I ain't gonna worry about it. And this is for battery charging, jump starting a vehicle. It's a charge controller. So I can use those even for that. So that's a small one. Large one, same thing. Here's some more. Let's see if one of these. They're size, there we go. They're sized to fit different cable connectors and stuff like that. All right, 12 volt, of course. Anyway, you get the idea. This one, same thing. Has a built-in inverter, charge controller, cables, more connectors, that type of thing. Little tool that I keep in here. Obviously I got some CR123s that are rechargeable I keep in here. I'll talk more about this tool at another time, but it's pretty nice. It's got a hydrometer, humidity, that type thing, or temperatures in Fahrenheit. Got a nice little light built into it. Oh, this is the one that has the switch I gotta fix. Oops. Come on. Damn it. Well, bear with me a second. Well, here's where it comes in handy to have a nice pointed knife. I forgot about this. This is why I go through my kits. The switch in this went bad, so I got to replace the switch. It's like a 2-cent part. A little solder and it'll be all done. I broke it the last time I tried to make one of these videos and I forgot about it. It's got a compass in it, which lights up, by the way, if I turn the light back on. Mirror, obviously. Magnifying glass, little measuring stick, level. That's not all. It also has a little poker stick here. It has, this is the whistle. It's got an emergency whistle, or signaling whistle. And it has I didn't mean to get off track here, but I figured I might as well show it since I got it out. Oh shit. Flint and steel. And yes, they do work. Everything I show or buy or recommend, anything I show and I bought for myself and use and recommend, I recommend it because I've used it. Let's see, that back in there. That one back in there. And that little thing right there. Nice and handy. When I bought these last, they were like $9 a piece. I have about 10 of them. Love those things because they're nice and handy for quick needs, that type of thing. So anyway, power panels are a great power source to keep up, to give yourself power when you're on the move, whether it's a big hit, whether it's a go kit, or whether it's your full shit hit the fan kit. They're light, but this is an Anchor version. Also comes with this built-in charge controller and a couple cables that go with it. All USB, obviously. They plug right into whatever it is that you're going to charge. You don't need anything extra. This is a 3-pane soft panel. It's hard panels with soft casing. Unlike these here, the Gold Zero were hard casing. This does just as good as those do. This doesn't come with as many accessories. Like I said, those are pretty expensive, name brand type stuff. I think I paid $25 for this when I bought it a number of years ago, and I still had lots of money. So that's an option, and you can find them cheaper now. I just don't buy Chinese anymore, so most of the stuff you see is either Korean, Japanese, preferably USA made if I can do it, but otherwise it's sourced from another country, not the Chinese. And I'm not going to get into a whole lot of specifics about why, but you can figure it out if you're a smart person. All right, so let's say you're on an even smaller budget than I have. I mean, I can afford $20 a month, so if you can afford $20 a month, any of the stuff I'm going to show you, you can afford to buy. You might have to save up a couple months, that $20 to get it, but if you can save $20 a month, you can get any of this stuff I'm going to show you. This is the other option. I'm sure many of you have seen these. They many times will come with outdoor solar lights. They're basically a hard solar cell that can put out up to 12 volts. Between, you know, you want to check at which one you're buying, but they can put out up to 12 volts and even up to 2 amps. More expensive ones can probably go higher amperage, but for something for $5, there you go. You know, put a connector on it. I use all these on my outside lighting, both my IR nighttime spots and my regular white floodlights. They're all solar and battery powered, and my cameras are backed up by these. So you know, $5 and you can get yourself a really good solid. You can find these just about anywhere. Now on to what you got to do, what you're going to do with that power. Oh wait, I'm not done with solar yet. If you really want to get here is another solution. These range anywhere from about $20 to $50 depending. And the only drawback with these, I don't think any of them can do lithium. CDA, and I know this one can't. And what they are solar powered battery chargers. And let me tell you, they work. This one has a nice charging gauge on it for its slots. But basically, you slot your batteries in there. Give me a battery. Here, take one out here. Oh, double A would be down here. Slot your battery in there, and probably help if I use something that fits, right? Easy. Put it in sunlight and let her bake. This one actually charges faster than this one. This is a pretty small solar panel, so it'd probably take half a day or more if this was all filled with batteries needing charge. This one is relatively quick compared to this one, but it's still, if you fill it, it's going to take an all-day event to charge batteries. Again, they will not do lithium. They only do NIM or NiCad. But still, NIM and NiCad batteries, you've got a nice little doohickey so you can prop it up for the sun. But even so, and they can also take external power, or at least this one can. So I can supplement. Yep, this one cannot. Or can it? Take my batteries back out of there. I'm not sure what that mark means. Thought it was power, but I guess not. I guess this one cannot take supplemental external power. This one can, which is kind of a nice feature. I will bet you it can also be used to power something externally. I haven't tried that. So those work nice if your only goal is just charging batteries. This one was actually the more expensive of the two. I was looking for amperage. Looks like 1500 milliamp, so 1.5 amps. Says it can do I'm not sure how to even read this. I think they're using metric sizes on that stupid chart. But anyway, and this is the USA, we don't do metric, or at least I don't. So that's another option for charging batteries and whatever, but again, they cannot charge lithium. So it's something to note when you're going through all this stuff. Next is your actual power. What are you producing the power for? And what are you using to power your gear? And you got a number of different options, obviously. I showed you my big power pack out there. Then you get to things like the brick. This is 60,000 milliamp hours. It's custom made brick, and it can power basically, now I don't have the tablet over here, but I have a tablet and I have a laptop. They are both mirrored, and I have a set of 2 each. They're mirrored, and they contain all of my reference material, maps, data, charts, radio frequency, you name it, are on that laptop, tablet, and then on their backups, which are in Faraday, small Faraday box. And this brick can power them for days. And so that's why back when, a few years ago, I saved up the money. I think this cost me about $100 for this brick, because I wanted something that was nice and contained, but able to put out enough power to, I could plug something in and not worry about it, or if I needed something larger charged quickly and I didn't have sunlight or anything, I'd have something to fall back on. So I bought one of these, and I've been happy with it since. 60,000 milliamp hour goes a long way. But I can't carry that in my kits. That's something that stays here at the house. It's a brick. I mean, it is heavy. It's not a light thing by any means. It is solid, heavy, square brick. And so it takes that about 4 hours to charge on grid power at 3 amps, if I'm down to about 50% on it. So it takes about 8 hours at 3 amps to charge that thing to 100%. Off the grid at 3 amps. So that's a lot of power. So it's not one that I use except here at the house. And in the shit that hit the fan, I would be using one of the bigger solar panels to keep it topped up as much as possible. So you get an option like that. And if you're looking for something for your house, get a few of these and you'd be covered for, for power. This thing will put out 3 amps. So I'm covered up to 3 amps for however long it can output. I haven't tested that yet. It's a good solution for the house when you have no other power and need instant power type thing, and you need it to run a laptop or a blender or whatever the hell you might want to run. Next, you've all seen the different power packs that are out there. Now, some of these, let's see, this one, these 3 I bought quite a few years ago, and this one is a more recent one. And I've got 2 of these. I've got one in the truck. The other one in the truck is twice the size of this. Same brand and everything, but it's twice the size. As you can see, it's built like the Panasonic Toughbook laptop is. It's built. It's rugged. I mean, I've dropped it a few times. But the thing that is nice about these that I chose here for myself, I can put, one of the smaller ones in my day pack, a little bit bigger one in the go pack, and a monster one in my full kit. And then, like I said, I keep a couple in the truck. Now the truck, being this brand, they're open like this, they're rugged. They've got, if I could open the damn thing, multiple, well, this one has dual charging outputs, one input, comes with, let's see, there we go, a light, and of course the lights will change modes and flash and whatever else. And then the big thing that's really nice about these, built-in solar panel. And it takes them a few hours to charge, but well worth it. In the truck I just leave it out and it picks up all the light during the daytime and keeps itself topped up. The nice thing about these, they do the same thing. This and that was my mole catcher running in. This one is my day kit, and it has 2 solar panels, here and here. Same basic function though. You know, you turn it on, you've got power, got a, let's see. Oh, must be hold it down. Yeah, light, nice bright light on it. This one is 10,400 milliamp hour, and it can output 2 amps, which is pretty good for a slimline power pack like this, actually. This one too has 2 outputs, and for my day pack, you don't really need much more than that, you know, for a day pack that goes wherever you go, like when I'm outside working or whatever. Next one, this one, like I said, is my Go Kit. And my Go Kit, which I'll go through specifically in another video, is the kit that goes with me anytime I leave the house up to 75 to 80 miles away. So like the nearest large major city is 80 miles from me, which is where I go to the Veterans Hospital because I'm a disabled vet now. And this goes with me, the day kit goes with me for that trip every single time. And as you can see, it's very similar to what this one is. 2 different companies, but very similar. Same thing, the light's on the back, but this one has 25,000 milliamp hour and 4 panels. And so again, plenty of power and a means to easily charge it. And then finally, my latest one goes in my big kit, my bug out kit, and it too, this is a little different company, a little different design. This one actually comes with some built-in cables for charging different things. I don't know what this is for, maybe, that must be Apple or something. I hate Apple, so no biggie. But it also has the, USB-C, and this should be the micro. No, I think that's Apple too. What the hell? Well, then this can't be it. This is not Apple. I wonder what that is. I'll have to look in the book on the instructions, I guess. No biggie. I don't need it. This one also has 4 panels. And this one is, if I remember right, this one is 40,000 milliamp hour. I wonder why it's not marked on here. That's odd. Huh. I'm almost sure this is 40,000 milliamp hour. Now, that one's 60,000 the brick, but got a lot more batteries in it, battery size in it, so that's going to last a lot longer, even though this is 40,000 milliamp hours. This would probably last a third the time that one would last. USB-C input, which is nice. 3 really bright lights. And again, charges itself, or you can plug it in and have it charge. And then, let's see here, type C, input for charging, output type regular USB, and type C, and then of course the built-in cables there. So that goes with my bug out kit. And the nice thing is, I also keep the solar panels in each of the kits, so I can supplement what I have here. In fact, I can plug those panels into these and increase the charge rate, which is really nice. So those are an option, and today you can find these packs like this with built-in solar panels and whatnot. You can get them pretty inexpensively. I've seen them as low as $10. They don't do 40,000 milliamp hours, probably 5,000 milliamp hours, but still, you know, in a pinch, as long as they've got built-in solar panel, you just leave them out in the sun while they're charging, and they'll keep dumping power into the batteries or whatever. Now, next, is you need a way to charge your batteries, whether they're AA or AAA. You got to be able to charge them somehow. You can't just, set them on there and away you go. Oh, by the way, that last one, this one, you see this? That's wireless charging. So if you have a phone or a tablet or something that does wireless charging, you just lay it right on there and it'll charge. You don't even need a cable. Almost forgot about that. Cat, you're in the way. Cat, move. Go find some moles or mice or something. Yeah. So you get down to you need a way to charge your batteries. And there's a few different options that you have. Oh, power packs, I didn't finish. There's another type of power pack too that I highly recommend, and I use a bunch of them for everything. And that is building your own. Damn it, I forgot to grab. I actually have a kit that I make of my own that has a solar panel, and it's downstairs. I don't have one up here. Damn it. Well, it's a kit that I build myself. And I included a solar panel on it, the whole 9 yards. I wish I had grabbed the damn thing. Ah, hell. I'll go grab it and give me 30 seconds to fast forward the video. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'll have to see if I can figure out how to cut a delay like that out of the video. If I don't, sorry. Anyway, this one happens to be pink because I got the outer shell for my wife, obviously. But what I have is I took it's plastic, laser plastic printed outer shell. There's a small micro board in here under the tape, the electrician's tape. I put into the input a small 1 amp. I think this is, it's 5 volts. I think it's 5 volts, 1 amp max output. I don't remember off the top of my head now. Pull up my stuff again on it. I've got like 6 of them I made, and I haven't made any more lately. And then I've got a solar or a light panel on the opposite side that I've put in. A solar panel on this side, so it'd be like this when it's together. And then it uses I guess I have to grab a couple. Oh, wait a second. I'm looking right at them. I just saw it. There it is. It uses 4 18650 batteries. Excuse me. And you know, obviously I've got to have I got the rails that I've made for each side. However, I'm modifying some of these and moving to flat, almost cell phone-like type batteries, if you think of the flat cell phone batteries, except these are, you know, they're bigger lithium or LiFePO packs, you know, the flat battery packs. Because doing it this way, it works fine. It's just a pain in the ass to work with them, because you got to make all the connections, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and solder it all together, put it together. So I'm changing it over to the LiFePO and lithium-ion battery pack, flat packs. It'll be a lot easier to maintain then. Plus, I need to add a connector so that I can unplug the battery packs and plug them back in without breaking shit apart when I need to replace the battery pack. So I make those, and damn, in parts, it's costing me, well, the most expensive part was actually the batteries, 18650s, because it's like 22 bucks for 2 of them, for real ones. I don't use the fake Chinese shit. For 2 protected batteries, it's anywhere from 22 to 30 bucks depending on what you get and where you find them. The battery packs I can actually get for half of that, for more power. If I get 2 18650s, I can get one flat pack battery for half the price, and it's double, sometimes triple the amount of power in that pack versus using the 18650s. So I'm right now experimenting with and playing with those flat packs to see how far I can push it. I'd love to get these little kits I make up to, you know, 40,000 milliamp hour or something if I could, but I doubt I'll get that far. I'm thinking I could probably get to 25,000 milliamp hour, which is pretty damn good. And then, of course, self-contained, because it's solar charging, with a nice big light on the backside, and then you got 2 outputs, input, lights to tell you what the status of the battery pack is and everything. And then, and these can be printed, you know, the plastic parts. And then I want to put I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet, but I want to put some kind of connector on here so you could like put them in a tent or hang them up like a lantern type thing, because that nice LED pad. So anyway, so that's an option if you're into that kind of thing, and a great way to save money, because using the flat packs, the cost is around 16 bucks to make one of those together. All the parts minus the batteries is like $8 for all the parts for this, not including the batteries. So the batteries are the higher expense. But without the batteries, it's like $8 for each one of these parts-wise. And then you just got to have the labor and the basic knowledge to put them together. It's DC voltage, positive, negative. So then I also bought a few like this. These are kits that you can buy pre-made. And basically, you open them up, if I can get through the seam here. You know, they come apart when you don't want them to, and when you want them to. By the way, this one's actually running this camera. As you can see, they're basic, very similar to what I have for my kits. A little bit more professional, obviously. And the same basic principle. You just put some 18650 batteries in there, and away you go. You're all set. And when they're out, you can do like I do with mine and take these out and put new ones in it. This one, I really like this brand, or this version that I found, because it has a nice little screen on it. So it tells you, like right now we're outputting 5 volts at, damn, need more light. Sucks getting old. We're outputting 1 amp, and actually I want to be outputting 2 amps. Oops. I forgot the camera turns off when I unplug the power pack. Anyway, I just went from the 5 volt 1 amp, changed over to the other port, now it's 5 volt. There we 5 volt 2.1 amp. Oh, the flashlight, yeah, of course. 5 volt 1 amp to 5 volt 2.1 amp. Let me get these guys. Zoe, stop. Come on, Douglas. No one. Leave your place. No. All right. This way. Come on. All right, chill out. As you can see, I'm not a pro at this. I'm in my home, and this is real life. That's my wife's dog. Little Zoe. And for the second time, no, she is not a pit bull. She's a Trapper Charge Terrier. Alright, pit bulls are 3 times that size, have a different shape to their actual face. And Zoe, we got rescued her from some people that had her. She was skin and bone. And when they drove in our driveway, the moment we saw her, I said, "You're not leaving with the dog." They didn't argue too hard. So we brought her home, and she's been a playmate for Thule, although we have them separated right now because some of their playtime has gotten out of control. But that's a video for another time because I got nailed pretty bad myself. That was one hell of a fight. Anyway, I have to keep drinking, my throat's drying up. So that's one type. This is basically the same thing. But this one takes 6, I think it is. This one took 4, this one takes 6. And then, if you open it the same way, put in and take out batteries as you need to, as they wear out. And this one actually is new, recent, and I really like it because this is, I've got one of my chargeables in each of our vehicles, one in my wife's car and whatnot, but also I throw one of these in because it's a magnetic cap. And it just takes 2 batteries in for an emergency or recharging your phone really quick. It's only got 1 output port and 1 input port. What's nice is there's a newer version of this that I've ordered, and I think it was $12 or something. And instead of the micro USB, it's got the new USB-C, which allows fast charging. And again, like the others, it's got a little display on it. And these are pretty sharp, you know, because you can throw them in your pocket, whatever. Throw in a couple 18650s, and you're all set. And with a magnetic cover, I just love that. So those are some other options outside of the professional build, you know, ones that are more expensive, obviously, with the built-in solar panels and whatnot. But you're not going to find these with solar panels. You're going to have to take a solar panel and plug it into that to charge them, which is fine. It just means you're going to have to, you know, also carry a solar panel. And in my case, I carry a solar panel and these. To me, power is paramount because I don't have my weapons up here, but I carry night vision. And night vision goes through batteries. So it's a paramount thing to me. And to me, having power for both my for my night vision and for all my tactical lighting needs on my weapons or on, you know, on me personally, to me that's important. And so power is the way I go. Now, in terms of the batteries you're going to use, well, everybody's familiar with your standard AA's and your standard AAA's. Now, for those of you that don't know, there's a standard AAA, the standard, and these are all rechargeable. I don't use anything but rechargeable. All right, those are your normal NIM rechargeable batteries. Then you get this, and you have this. Looks just like a AA and a AAA, doesn't it? They're not. And you need to be very careful that you know what you're using and when and for what. Because these standard NIM batteries are 1.5 volts or 1.2 volts depending, which doesn't really make a huge amount of difference, to be honest with you, the way electronics work. These are 3.2 volts, 3.1 and 3.6 and 3.7 volts. These are lithium. Why they came up and decided to put them in the same damn exact size cell, I will never know, but they did. And I can't tell you how many people have grabbed one of these, shoved it in their flashlight or their radio and heard zzz, and that was the end of it. So you need to be really careful and know what kind of batteries you've got, or that you're buying, or that you're putting into your gear. Because if you put these, like I said, in a radio or flashlight or any other electronic device that does not work with the higher voltage, it's just going to fry it instantly. All right, so for those that were not aware of that or don't know about that, it's something to pay attention to, because a lot more devices these days are taking the lithium batteries. And the nice thing is, the things that take lithium batteries can use the NIM batteries too. They just don't last as long, or they're not as, like flashlights are not as bright with the standard batteries versus if you put NIM batteries in it. One example, here's one of my small tack lights that I carry. Some mini. And normally I keep a 3.7 volt AA in this puppy. But I can also take a standard NIM and use it as well. Maybe I need to charge the batteries, huh? It's got a circuit in it oh, there we go. It's got a circuit in it that regulates between a standard NIM battery and 3.7 volt lithium. And under the lithium, it's super bright, as you can see. That was about the NIM battery. This is lithium. You can't get to that high powered mode without the lithium. So it kind of gives you an idea there of, or now you understand the difference between the different types of batteries, and you need to just be aware, because like I said, a lot of new things to these days are now using these lithium batteries. And if you put it in the wrong device, your device is going to go poof. All right? So those are some of the basics. But talking about shit to hit the fan and what you're carrying in your kit, what I do today now is I use batteries like this. Let me pull out each of the different types. And because they have also now come out with lithiums that are 1.5 volts instead of 3.7 volts. So again, you got to kind of pay attention and read the small print. Now, these, for example, this one here is a lithium rechargeable 1.5 volt, this is a CR123, 3.5 volt, 3.7 or whatever the hell it is, 3.6 volt, 9 volt battery, which is still 9 volts, AA battery, which is 1.5 volts, and of course a AAA battery, which is also 1.5 volts. And they even do C batteries and D batteries. You wouldn't believe how light this is. It's like holding a feather. A size D lithium battery. But here's the other advantage to them. Not only do they last longer and hold charge longer as lithium, most of them today are coming with this. Micro USB. Micro USB. Micro USB. Even the AAAs, micro USB. And then you can get these kind that looks like a standard. It doesn't have the micro USB because the cap comes off and you just plug it into USB. Pretty slick. And because they're so light, you can carry a buttload more of these in your kits than you can of standard AA or even 3.77. Well, 3.77 is not going to make a difference because you need those for whatever lights you need them for. Just like your 18650, which a lot of tap lights take. These are lithium. You can also now buy 18650s with the chargers like that too, but they're expensive as hell that way. So you've got a number of options you can look at now, and if you're really looking to save some weight, as you can see, this is where I'm going. Because, close the cap, because the weight saving is, I can't describe it on video. It's like holding a feather. It's that lightweight. For those of you that know metals, you know the difference between a solid chunk of steel and a solid chunk of titanium in weight. It's probably even more difference than that between those two metals are. In terms of the difference in weight for these batteries. It is that much. It's amazing. And as you see, 18650, CR123, C and D, AA, AAA, whatever. They even make now coin batteries that are also rechargeable. And so I have some of those that I use for certain things as well now. All right, so it comes down to now what's the best way to charge these? Well, obviously I've got a USB cord, so I can just take a standard USB cord and plug it in. Or another option is you get a pigtail, and now I can do 4 at a time. And if you've got like a 3 amp output battery pack, you can charge these pretty damn fast because it'll split the amperage amongst the 4 pigtails. So 3 divided by 4 would give you equal amperage across each of the pigtails. They also come in pigtails of 2. And there's one other nice feature for batteries. Let's say you've got a different battery, because now they've come out with another size battery. Some of you may have heard of the 26650, which are basically a larger version of the 18650, and they've been out a while, and larger tactical lights and stuff will use them. As you can tell, this one's been around the world a few times. So they're bigger than the standard 18650 battery. As you can see, same length but bigger round, more power, 5,000 milliamp hour versus between 3,000 and 32 milliamp hour. Which reminds me, you can go online and find all sorts of 18650 batteries from all these different brands, blah 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 blah. If it says it has more than 3,200 milliamp hour on it, it's a fake. 18650 batteries cannot of this size cannot exceed 3200 milliamp hours. That's the physical max they can actually be. This is one of the types. If it's more than 3200 milliamp hour, it's a fake. Most inexpensive ones are around 2200 milliamp hour, but there's a lot of fakes out there that say, oh, 34, 38, 4,000. Some even claim to be 10,000. They are fake. If you buy them, you're basically giving them free money. And the other thing that you want to check for is make sure if you're buying them for your flashlights or whatever else, you want to make sure they have a protection circuit in them. If the batteries you're buying are, you know, if you can get like a pair for 12 bucks, they're fake. The 18650s, for two 18650s with a protected circuit, you're going to pay 24 to 26 bucks. Period. That's about the cheapest you're going to find them. But they last forever, they hold a charge forever, they're protected against under and overcharging, and they help protect your light or whatever else that they're in because of that circuit. You can go with the fake ones if you want. They'll work for a while, but you're given free money to, and it's usually Chinese knockoffs that are saturating the market. So be aware of that. And it goes for any of these batteries. Make sure you're getting a reputable brand and version. You know, do a little research, find out what you're buying, who makes it, that type of thing. I do, and I even have a little tester that can do a test. When I find a new brand, like knock it off. When I find a new brand of 18650s, I have a small tester, and I plug it into that, and it'll drain it down as if it's running a flashlight or something. It's got a resistor that puts a draw on it, and I'll get a reading at the end of it of how many milliamp hours that battery actually supplies. And that's how you can test to make sure they're real. Get down. Out. What did I say? Down. Get down. Already been outside. Yeah, you too. Not playtime right now. All right, so next on it, I said there's a new battery. And the new ones are, I guess, next generation is what I'm going to call them. I hadn't heard anything about them until I ran across them. And the only reason I ran across them is because I bought another tactical light. Is this the one? I like Nightcore Tacticals for various reasons, but that'll be another. Nope, this is a standard 18650. But I'm going to cover that in another video. I don't think I have one here then. They're probably all in the back. But the newer tactical lights coming out now are using this new lithium battery. It's another 5,000 milliamp hour, and it's a 21700 is the version. It's smaller around than the 26650 I showed you, but it is also, to make up for it, longer than the 18650. So you need to be aware of that when you're buying your flashlights, your tactical lights now. There's a new battery they're using that has more power, lasts longer, but it's slimmer than the 650, wider than the 18650, and longer than the 18650 and 26650. And like I said, I've been finding them in the new tactical lights that I grabbed one here recently, and I opened it up and I'm like, oh shit. And the reason I say oh shit is because they don't fit in standard chargers anymore. Or not anymore, they never have. They're bigger, they're too long. So be aware that this new battery is out, and if so, you're going to have to make an adjustment so that you can charge them, which I'll show you here in a second, for this new release. And I already actually had a method of charging these because of these. They're little, you plug them in again into your power pack, but they're magnetic. I got a built-in circuit, plug it in, and I'm able to charge them. Or recently, I was doing some research, and I was able to find chargers that now support these new batteries. This one does support it. And the nice thing about this one is, you'll notice I've got 3 of these here. It's hard to portray how small these are and how lightweight they are. This is what I was using for putting in my kit. Holds an 18650 and that's it. I can't even do a CR123 in these, but that's all that was available. You notice it obviously doesn't fit that. And then I found this one day, which is really small, really extremely lightweight, and not only can it input from the solar panels or brick, you know, or power pack, but I can also output from it and daisy chain, and daisy chain to other things as well. And it can do everything from a CR123 up to an 18650. You know, A, C, D, AA, AAA, all that kind of stuff. And it's all on the back. NIM, NiCad, lithium ions. And this one would do all the way up to a 26650, which is the battery that I took out of here. But obviously, it can't fit the new 21700, which I was concerned about. But I ended up finding this new one that's just out. That's basically the same size and just as it's a little bit longer, as you can see, but it's just as lightweight. The only bummer is it doesn't have an output, but it does have the normal input, so I can go off of solar panel or whatever. And the other really nice thing is it's USB-C, so this can go up to 3 amps, and it fits the new 21700 also. So it fits all the other batteries that this one does, but also the new one. And this one is too short as well. So this was one of the ones out of my other kit. This one is still my favorite, even though I can't take that battery just because it is. This one's super light. This one's even lighter, and it has the output, like I said. So I'm still this is still my favorite one. But you know, what can I say? There is one advantage to this. It can output more power because of USB-C. This one can't output the same amount of amperage. And this one, yeah, this one can output 2 amps as well. And the nice thing about these is, as I was saying, this one goes in my day pack. This one will now go in my Go kit. And this one will go back into my main kit. In my main kit, I actually have 2. I think this was the one that did it, because I had a regular two. You can see the difference. It's a heavier, bigger charger, and this one will also fit the 21700. And so, and the reason I chose this East Shine, I either go with Nitecore or East Shine, because I use both Nitecore and East Shine batteries. This, in fact, is a Nitecore battery, but I use the East Shine as well. And so these 2 go into my day kit, or my plug-out kit, and then this one goes in this new one will go into my Go kit. This one will go into the day kit. So it's something to be aware of, but the nice thing about this, I don't remember what I paid for it because I've had it for so long. This one was $11. That was it. $11, and I can charge everything from NIM, NiCad, and lithium ion, all the way up to the 21700 now, which is pretty damn nice. Let's see. That covers that, and that. Oh, of course, you can also, there is one other version, and I have this one tied to my Go kit, because it goes in the truck normally. This is a full size, and it plugs also in by any type of 5-volt power, can do up to 2 amp output, and it's really lightweight. But this one's going to go into storage because I now have this one for my go kit for when I'm driving the truck or going out in the car or whatever we're doing. And then last thing I want to touch on with this is storing your batteries. There's all sorts of different ways of storing batteries. So for example, I'll use little things like this for my flat, watch batteries, or my tactical scope batteries, for the reticles, that type of thing. And I'll keep them in here. It's got a rubber seal, and it keeps them nice and dry, etc. Then you've got these standard cheapo plastic carriers like this. And I always mark them on the outside so I know what they are. So if I'm in a rush or a hurry, I'm not trying to figure out, is that 1.5 or is that a 3.7? Although by sight I can recognize them now. So I've got those kind. Then of course I've got these really nice flat versions, which fit into the pockets of your packs really nice. Slide in or slide out. Very small, and then I have these, which I also like a lot because I can just pop in whatever I need for the kit, and that's simple, that quick. And I've got AAA, AA, 18650, CR123, and downstairs I've got some C and D, a couple C and D versions as well, but I mainly do the AA, AAA, and CR123 and 18650s. And they're nice because they're set up, good to go. You don't have to worry about them. They don't come out. They can't come out. They can't split open, by hitting something or whatever. They don't fall apart and the batteries come flying out. These are really nice. And just a plastic and they click right in. They click in so they don't come out on their own. So that's an option. I'll put my laser sight batteries back in there. And there was the other kind you saw early on, which is this, which can take multiples, including even a 9 volt. And then I have a bigger one, which I thought I had one up here. Oh, yeah, I do. Then we have the bigger one that can hold a C battery on each end, 9 volt in the center, AAA, AA. You can hang it if you want. And they're nice for the workshop and things like that. But I keep one of these like this in each of the vehicles and on the tractor. Keep these into my workshop or whatever. And then these I use for the kits, et cetera, et cetera. And then for anything I want to seal up, otherwise it's just small and gets in the way, I use a small rubber. And the wife found these for like 50 cents or whatever at the dollar store or something. I think I've pretty much covered. Those are my box outside that I showed you to start all this. I picked up a couple. They must have been on sale or something, but I picked up 2 full charge controllers for, these are up to 24 volt, 30 amp. And I got 2 of them, brand new. I don't know if they were discontinued or surplus. They even got USB output. I paid $18 for them. And one of them I'm going to mount on that box I showed you outside, so that I can use external large solar panels with it. I came across that for $18. I couldn't turn that down because charger controllers, especially that are 30 amp, are not cheap. Oh, and the other thing, the last thing that I do keep in my kit, there's a USB charger, right? Now, something to know about these. They come in different sizes and shapes and whatever. But the most important thing is look at the output. When you're going to put one of these in your kit, which I keep one in all my kits, right? Like I said, they come in different shapes and sizes. Some come with just one USB, some will come with multiple USBs. Some now will come with the new USB-C, which again I said it can handle a lot more power, which is that little one right here, the rounded kind of oval one, that can handle up to 3 amps. So this is what, from now on, I'll be adding to my kits, you know, because not only, if I have grid power someplace, I can plug this in and supercharge everything, you know, without having to wait for the sun to charge it. But also, I can plug this in to an inverter. And I can plug this into an inverter, and I can actually, this brick is big enough actually, I could plug a small inverter into that. But I have an inverter in my vehicles. I've got a portable inverter that I can plug into that box outside, and I just plug it in and use regular power. And a lot of your battery pack jump start boxes, they'll have a built-in inverter, so you could plug this in and charge away that way as well. So I keep one of these in all my packs too, because if there is grid power, take advantage of it. There's no reason you shouldn't. And I don't have it anymore because I broke it. That's what happens when you drop it. But with those solar panels and stuff that I had from Goal Zero, I had another kit that was about yay wide thick, about yay, I guess it was about yay wide, about yay thick, and probably that long. And I can't remember what it was called, but it was it could do up to 100 watts. If I remember right, it was 20 amp, 100 watts, and it would last quite a while. And it had not only all these, you know, all the standard charging and USB ports and stuff to it, but it had a module that snapped to it, so with a one plug inverter for using AC power, 100 watt, 20 amp, which was really nice. And I dropped the damn thing. And I was going to buy another one, and they upgraded it. And the upgrade was like double the price, so I never replaced it, which is too bad, because that module would have been nice to show you. It was really nice. And it was, you know, it was only freaking, and it was lightweight. It was a nice little module. Anyway, I guess I've kind of covered the basics of what I keep in my kits and what I have in my vehicles and stuff. For power, after shit hits the fan type situation, keep in mind that much of what you see here goes in my kits. And I do have backup. But I'm not going to dig out and show you all of my backup. And the backup, as I had mentioned early on, I kind of hinted at it, my backup is, my laptop and tablet, well, I have backup for that, and I have backup for my chargers, my power packs and whatever, and they are in the same box, the same Faraday box. Because if we get hit with a bunch of EMPs and we're close enough and they're strong enough, all of the stuff you see here will be useless. Except for, keep in mind, one of the things also I should have mentioned, when you're doing batteries, it'd be nice, some people are going to want to go out and get these awesome new lithium batteries. Keep both. Do lithium, but don't get rid of the NIMs. Keep these NIMs, keep some in storage, because NIMs won't be impacted. They might discharge, but you'll be able to recharge them. Where the lithium batteries, nobody really knows for sure, because most of them have a circuit in them that probably be toast. So if we get hit with EMPs and you're close enough to the EMP to burn out circuits, then these will probably be bad, and your NIMs will be what you're going to have to then rely on. And which is why the other thing I had gone through was, when you buy something, make sure you can run on both types. Less power on the NIMs, but it'll still function. And if you don't have a Faraday cage, you need to look into making yourself a cheap one. I make mine out of steel trash cans, garbage cans. Very simple to do. You've got to make sure to, look it up. There's a lot of lessons on how to make a small little Faraday cage, even in a steel can, because you're going to need to line it and stuff. You don't just throw shit in a metal box and call it a day. You got to line the can or the box or whatever it is you're using, and then take some other protective measures around the gear that you want to protect, so that an EMP doesn't have any impact on it. And just to finish it out, my Faraday, I've got, like I said, my backup for the laptop and the tablet. I've got backups for my power packs, my tactical lights, my scopes, my night vision, communication, radio, batteries, board for my truck, computer board for the electronic ignition for fuel injection. What else is in there? I think that's about it. Solar panels. The basics. Anything that you see here is going to be in there. That, not as much as you see here, but enough that the worst case scenario, I've still got power to do and keep most of my most important things active and running. The only thing I don't have in there is a nice brick like this. But I'm actually seriously considering putting this one in there, because I only have one and I don't have another $100 to go spend on something like that. So I may end up actually putting that one in there. And I showed you these earlier. This one actually comes out of there, came from there, because that's the only one of those I've got of that type. Yeah, all the other ones I have are this type, which I kind of prefer, but they both are fine. There's nothing really wrong between them. All right, that's it for this video. Next video will probably be me going through the day kit and the go kit, which are the two smaller. The day kit, again, is the one that I use every day. The go kit is the one that goes in my truck if I'm driving anywhere up to 75, 80 miles from home. Anything past 80 miles or so, my big pack goes, the big kit. So for people that don't realize it, you might think, well, if I'm only 50 miles from home, why do I need a kit? The average person in excellent shape and excellent condition can walk anywhere from 15 to 17 miles in a day for the first day or two at most. That's without carrying anything. If you're trying to get home, you're going to take whatever you can find and carry, which is going to probably slow you down. Now, the nice thing is you should be able to keep closer to roads that first couple of days. But after that first 48 hours, at least for me, the moment I start seeing more people, I leave the road. I'll be going cross country. And I expect to make anywhere from 10 to 12 miles a day. So take just 50 miles. That could mean, depending on weather, it could take me up to 5 days to get home, or even 6 days, depending on how far I can walk. Because especially after the first couple of days, I'm going to be sore, tired, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're out of shape, I'm in shape. I'm 6 foot, athletic build, 170 pounds, former military. I'm nowhere near as six-pack as I used to be. Things change. But I'm not in any means overweight or out of shape. My stamina could use some more work again, but for the most part, I'm in, pretty good shape. And I know that I will only be able to do 12 to 14 miles per day, and that's carrying my kit. People that are out of shape, you might make it 5 or 6 miles a day, at least for the first half of your trip. And that's not being insulting, that's just being truthful. And if you haven't figured that out, you need to rethink your entire plan. Because if you don't suck it up, you'll die. Plain and simple. You will not make it. You will be found dead or made dead on your way. And that's just within 50 miles of wherever you are. So if you think 50 miles is too short a distance, then you need to seriously sit down and start thinking a lot harder about what you're doing and what you're planning and how you're expecting things to go. And we'll talk more about that when I do the actual kit videos. So until then, if you got any questions about this, I'll try to edit it. I'm not a professional at this. I'm doing this for information and to teach people, and that's it. So there's going to be some, as you can see in the video, there'll probably be hiccups and whatever. I'll try to edit some of it if I can figure out how, but otherwise you're just going to have to live with it, because it's not my forte. I'm recording it, telling you about it, and hopefully you get something out of it, and that's it. So, till next time.